We call them icebergs because they are very large belief systems that we have developed over time, beginning from childhood. And only the tip of these big belief systems is in our conscious awareness, just like only the tip of an iceberg is above the water. We recognize these because they come in the form of shoulds and musts, things about how the world should be, how we should be in the world, and other people should be towards us. We find that they come in three basic flavors. Some people have their icebergs stacked up mostly in the achievement space. Things like if it's not done perfectly, it's a failure. Some have it more in the social space. I should always be there for the people I love. And others have it more in the control space. The more control I get, the better my life will be, or I should be able to do it all. Now, where these icebergs become problematic is that they stretch us too thin because we're trying to accomplish all of these things that humans simply aren't able to accomplish. So it can lead to burnout. It can lead to all of the to clinical depression, clinical anxiety, and all of the kinds of problems that we know come along with low resilience.
Now, how do we spot the iceberg?
A surefire way to detect it is if we have a big emotional response in a moment and we don't really know where it came from. I think most of us have had the experience of walking away from a situation and saying, wow, I took myself by surprise at how angry I got, or anxious, or frustrated, or sad.
So you have a 4-step kind of technique that you use to say, look at what has happened. What does it mean to me? What's the worst part of that for me? And assuming all of this is true, why is it so upsetting? So perhaps you could use those 4 questions and just going through a quick example to give people kind of a demonstration of that technique for them to be able to really drill down and identify that underlying belief.
And I had my own experience where I was working upstairs in my little home office and it was trash night and I could hear the trash truck, but I had this all-nighter project. I knew it was going to take me all night. My wife was downstairs in the kitchen and I was thinking, you know, we can each hear the trash truck. We know it's happening. We're supposed to take the trash out to the curb. Surely this time, even though it's my job, surely this time she'll do it. And I heard her walking downstairs, walking around, and I thought, she's fantastic. And then I heard her come up the stairs and she came into our home office and said, yo, take out the trash. And I said, okay. But in my head, I was not thinking, okay. And I got to anger on really a 7, 8, 9, probably more of a 9 in that moment. And even though I'm not the kind of person who yells, it's just not in my nature to do that. I could feel it everywhere in my body and my mind. And it took me a good 30, 40 minutes to get back on task, right? As it turns out, no one took the trash out, by the way. But the next day I was experimenting with those questions and saying to myself, you know, I was thinking, this is going to cost me 5 minutes. And well, what's the worst part of that? Well, the worst part of that for me is she's interrupting my really important work for a really small task. And why is that so upsetting to me? Well, if she doesn't respect my work, then she doesn't respect me. And what's the worst part of that? Well, work is really important to me. And so she doesn't really respect anything about me or my rights. And I should be respected and supported by all people at all